Head. Please wait. Okay. So yesterday we kept ready to get the data and that should be loaded in the given URL. Of course, where is the data? We have to write in this place. And okay, before that, let us run. MongoD. And then Mongo. And what is the database name? Where you can find out the database name. CRUD app. Show DBS. It's not created still. Why it is not created? You have just connected to the point of database MongoDB, but you did not added any records, right? I mean, you did not create any collections, and you did not create added any records. So that's why there is no name. until unless we add collections, until unless we add records inside that, then only it will show the database. Otherwise, it won't show. But no problem. Anyway, that we will use keyword and the name of the database. Keep it ready. Let us write. Use space. Where CRUD app. And you have to enter into this. Okay. Now write the code, close all these things. Then in app.js we are writing first and then. So from the books property, we have to extract the records. Let us write. Opening closing curly braces from the state dot books dot map, right? From the map, using the built-in method map, you are able to extract the records. So from books, and you are using that map, extracting one by one. TR. Mm, First TD ISBN. So to display that ISBN, you can just write here book.isbn, then title and author. Book.title and then book dot. Is it author or else publisher? Let us do one thing. In the models, okay, let us write author so that we can easily remember. Then now to this ISBN, we want to create a link To this ISBN, we want to create a link. When user clicks on that particular link of an ID or ISBN ID, it will just connect to that particular book and will show the rest of the details, like as we have done with the day before yesterday session with the customers and customer list extracting. So to create a link here, link to, you have to give a backticks forward slash from the home page. You are redirecting to the show page at the same time, along with your passing the book dot underscore id. What is this underscore id? For each and every record, there will be a MongoDB object id right now, unique id. And in this middle, you can just make it the link. So with this, you are done with a basic page, first page, displaying all the records. Once you click on this create link, it has to enter into the components folder and it has to enter into the create file. I mean, it has to execute this functionality. So import React component from React. Then import React DOM from React DOM. Import AXIOS from AXIOS and import a link from React Router DOM. Now the component is create. So write a class create extends component. Then here let us write render inside this return, and we want to design a form. That is what we have to add right now. And while writing this form, that input elements that should be connected to its one-way property binding of its corresponding fields, meaning title, it should be given a call this dot state dot title in the input element of value, like as we have done for form validations, right? Then let us write not only title, all the things. So first let us display the design. Let me just copy because I want just a common concept panel and body. Only inside this we will be having difference. So Let us do one thing. Here we can write first, as we want to create the book. So that main title is add new book, and you are in the page of adding a new book. But if you want to see all the list of books, then you can just even connect to the home page that you are giving gilf icon th hyphen list, and then book list. Now you have to start with the concept of form designing. So right in the panel box you have heading and body, and then now what are the fields that we have written? All these input elements we have to write. And before that, let us do, or else, okay, let us first do, okay, let us do one thing. Let us go to the top, and anyway that we have to export this one. Export default create, and in this write a constructor. Of course, we are adding now, we are not passing anything. So make it empty and write a state, and that equals to isbn. Then title. Then one second. Okay, we have written all already author. Let it be publisher separately. I thought that he did PUBLISHER author. Hmm. Here it is already author we have, and then let it be now publisher. So title, and then author, description, and let us write here year, on which year we want to, we want to find out, sorry, we want to write on which year it is published. So published underscore year, and then publisher. These are all the required properties. And take all the properties as a variables. We can say constants. So what do you say here? In the render, write a constant, opening closing curly braces, ISBN, comma, title, comma, author, comma, description, comma, then published underscore year, comma, and then publisher. ISBN, title, author, description, published underscore year, and publisher. All these variables that should set its default values from the state. A state which is holding all these values now. We just written, of course, if there is any value that also will be assigned to the local variables. Now we are going to start off designing a form. Open a form element. When user clicks on submit button, you are going to give a call. This dot whatever you want. I mean user defined method. I'm just writing on submit as a method call. Then class name and that equals to form hyphen group and a label for ISBN. Let us write you even can also implement a table and then input element where type equals to text class name and that equals to form hyphen control the name attribute and that equals to the form variable ISBN, whereas a value and that is ready to connect with this given local variable of ISBN, and this is having if there is a value in the state that will be reflected here. Okay, and about these things, when user is changing and when user is typing, that is called, we can say, on change. So on change, and you will be giving a method this dot on change. Apart all these things, you can just write a placeholder of ISBN number. It will be something like this. Something like this. Okay. So in the same way, let us write for the rest of this title or description, published year, and publisher up to that. So div form group title, so title, author, description, okay. So write in all the places correspondingly. Name equals to title. It is right. The title. And then author, then something, name. So then description. And we will be writing here even a text area also, or else even even an input element also. So if we have written text area, the class name, form hyphen, control, name, and that equals to description. In this middle of text area, write that description. And additionally, we even have to write on change right now. On change, and that equals to this dot on change. So class name, the name, on change, and description. Write type not required and placeholder not required. And then published year. So let us write here then type text, and then here write why it is PUBLISHEA publish year, right? Name, where is that value here? Okay, so let us write here. And last, you can say who is that publisher. And then value publisher. Something. After all these things, then button there should be, right? Button submit, where type equals to submit and class name, and that equals to btn space btn hyphen default or primary, or let us write. So you are done with the concept of adding a new record. Of course, we did not complete still. We are ready with the form. When user is typing, that has to be saved in the database right now. So let us write. First thing what we can do, we can write on change. When user is typing in a particular input element, it has to connect to the corresponding property which is in the state. So on change, and that equals to that event which user is typing, event inside this. Let us first take const state, and that equals to state, meaning this dot state. The meaning of this one is you are kept ready all the properties into your local property, into your local variable. Now, using that local of which you are targeting event dot target dot that particular name, that is field name, it is corresponding event dot target dot value. So user is typing in the publisher, for example, that value is connected to the correct, or you can say you have given the same names, the property names, whatever you have, the same names you have given the field names also, form variables also. That's the reason it just directly connect to that corresponding name and take that value, and again it we have to update. I mean, we just taking that value assigning to this, we have to reset set state of state. We're re-uploading, re-updating into the corresponding form variable, or we can say corresponding property. This is the point of, we can say, on change. Okay, when user clicks on submit, it has to take all the fields and how to assign arrows and how to what you can say, create a record, and it has to show also. So for that purpose, we are writing on submit, and that equals to event. Defaultly, you can stop its behavior. To stop its behavior of an event handler of a submit, we can write prevent default event dot prevent default, and let us take all the values of properties, or all the properties of a state as your local. So you are, I mean, you are going to update from the state you have kept ready. Then using AXIOS built-in method of a post, and referring from the API of book the corresponding these properties, meaning sorry, then result props dot history dot to the home page you are right. So the meaning of this one is all the fields what you are entering are passing. We have discussed AXIOS will do a concept of sending the data to server to upload, I mean, to the server right now, and that's what we have done here. All the properties that we are sending. Okay, after updating all the values into the corresponding properties, we are just redirecting to the home page. That's it. Completed the concept of create. Then we want to, when we click on, when we click on particular link, It has to show all the details now. So for that purpose, go to the show. Then design that page which it can, of course you can make it something same as a, what you can say, app only, but actually here you are referring all the results in the app, but at show you are going to refer a particular record only right now. So okay, let me do one thing. Let me first write here the three required things. We require then reactive component AXIOS link. Here we are going to show, and then class show extends extends component, and write a constructor. We are getting the properties now. Inside this super of a props, and then write that state, and that equals to keep it all the, not all, only one record. That's why you are just maintaining opening closing curly braces. You are not going to write a square bracket because we are expecting only one. That's why. Okay. And we even know how to get here what we have done. The same functionality, but observe here, you are passing an ID. Based on this ID, you have to attach this ID to this place. Then you can get it, the record. So in component with mount, component did mount, we are getting the results into the particular page, but expecting that this dot props dot to refer a particular column or to refer a particular property, you have to write match dot the parameters. We can say here params. Here in even express.js we have discussed this particular parameter, how we can refresh, how we can return, how we can get output. So from all the properties, it is matching that particular parameter, which is called an ID, and that you are getting the data and displaying. You are getting, just make it here in the book property, not books, right now. And here you can write the response of data. Then write the concept of displaying. So let us do one thing. Let us first copy this render total concept, or as you can say, Here we are showing all the records, but we have shown now only one record now. That's why we are writing. So then, in place of a book catalog, we want to highlight that particular property, I mean that particular value of a title. How can you refer? All the details are saving in the property of book right now. So you can refer like this. State dot book. From the book, you are extracting the title. Then here you want to see the list same. I mean, when you are in the page of adding a record, you have given a link effect with to see all the book lists now to go back to the page of home page itself. The same way you are just wants to see you are in the particular page, and if you want to move back, if you want to go list of items page, then you can just write that's it, home page and book list. And here you are having what you can say. Let us do one thing. Remove this T body. Make it TD. That is ISBN and beside that. But make it T body directly. So what you have done, you are going to write the list of rows and with two columns. Okay, let me do one thing. In the very beginning, TH, what you can say, mm, called span 2. Referring or else, okay, display displaying the book. What is that book? This dot state dot book dot title. Now ISBN, title, author, description, published year, publisher. So ISBN, title, author, description, published year, publisher, right? Okay, we no longer additionally require any other. So what you can write in all the places, common. This dot state dot book up to this point it's common. So just refer. Okay, in places of this title, can write ISBN title and author, then dis- description, then published underscore year. Then last one you can say publisher. Then after all these things, if you want to create a called span with the two, and here we want to create the concept of two buttons, edit and delete. So let me do one thing first. Write a URL of edit referring with a dollar opening closing parenthesis this dot state dot book underscore id, right? You are referring link to edit page. The given dollar is representing as an taking that particular property from this dot state dot book dot id, and let us write the class name and that equals to btn space btn hyphen success, or else if it's an editing now, so make it something blue color. Edit book. Here you have given passing a parameter as a query string, and now we even work in other way of deleting with type equals to button and class name, and that equals to btn space btn hyphen danger So here you are going to write a delete button. I mean delete functionality. Delete book. 1 second, hold on please. So let us let us write here. We are going to pass a function, I mean a method here to delete that button, sorry, delete that record. So how? On click this dot, we are giving a call to delete method dot bind. In the very beginning, we have discussed this methodology of how we can pass, and then this dot state dot book, that particular ID we are passing. So when you click on this, you are giving a method to delete, which is taking the parameter from this button that you want to pass. When you have done, then in the very beginning, I mean when you click on it, I'm saying delete, we are passing a parameter now, so you can directly write that ID whatever, and then from AXIOS dot using a delete built-in method from API book of that particular ID, then then right, I mean we are after deleting, we are just redirecting to home page. That's it. So we are almost done. We are displaying the list of items. When user wants to click on new, I mean adding of new record, then opening that new page and creating a page with a list of form details. When user clicks on it, it has to save the record and show the record details. And when you want one sorry, when user wants to see a particular book details, we are displaying and with edit and delete. Okay, we have done a delete and we now create the functionality, the final functionality, which is edit, right? So the final functionality. So almost what you have done for for creating. Additionally, you are going to do some additional statements. So let me just copy instead of totally writing. We just can change. And one more point, did we return export? No. Export default show right now. Then we are done. And then now go to the edit dot final point. Make it here. We are okay here. We can say edit. And we are fetching some properties now. So write props, and then into the particular book we are going to refresh. I mean, we are going to fetch particular book record detail, and that should be showing in the input elements where user clicks on submit button, it has to update. So state, and that equals to, that's it. Of course, let us write fetching of particular book record. Right, we require right now fetching of particular book record. Same component did mount. The API book using the props dot match with parameters of the particular ID we are getting and assigning that detail into the particular book. So we are done at this moment. Here you can say from the particular record of book, say targeting and assigning and resetting. Here you are resetting a particular record only, not all. So you can just write here book with a state and then submit. You just have to take all the required things from the particular book. And then here you have to update. So how you can update into the API book taking a particular. Okay, let us do one thing. Especially this one, we will recode. Especially this one, we will recode. So AXIOS, that is, we are fetching a particular book detail that we have to update that using that PUT built-in method and API book. You have to refer to the particular. So this dot props dot match dot params dot id. If it is matching, then take all these things. I mean, based on that particular ID, you are updating. Then you are passing, you are not updating here itself. You are passing the fields where you have to write these things. Let us write this dot props dot history dot push to the particular this dot props dot. So meaning you are taking all the updated values based on the particular, what you can say, ID, and updating and connecting to the show page to show that particular updated value. That's what you can say. And here we don't require this one. And then let us write here edit, and then we want to show particular book. So if we want to show, okay, here we want to show link to show this dot state dot book dot underscore id, that you are just showing book item or book list, whatever you want. And then as it is in all the places, but one thing, previously you have copied directly that variables, but here in all the places that you have to write from the state. So this dot state dot book dot ISBN. Same way, this dot state dot book dot title. So refer here this dot state dot book dot author. Write value in all the places. Of course, here also this dot state dot book dot, and then even this dot state dot from that book dot publisher, and then finally this dot state dot book dot, then submit button. We have done almost, but one thing we have to do in the routes, we have book.js. Here what we have done, only one function. What about the concept of getting a particular, saving, updating and deleting? That based on these pages, you are passing that URLs now, so that you have to access here. I mean, you have to write that functionality here. So just copy. Getting a particular record is almost same like this, only but with an ID. Router.get find by ID. 1 second. You are refreshing a particular, you are fetching a particular ID right now, for a particular book now. So router.get, here you have to write in Express, if you remember, colon ID, I mean colon name, colon category, something. Then inside this book dot find by ID, which you are requesting from the params dot ID. If it is successful or failure, we just getting a particular record. If error, return next of error, otherwise getting the data in the format of a JSON of post. What happens means when all the records we have and you are clicking a show and a particular ID you are passing in the query string, and it is requesting to see that particular ID, sorry, here, particular ID, immediately from this, it will enter into the book dot book.js file, and that is you are fetching that particular ID, find by ID, and giving an out. So get router.get of forward slash colon ID and function request response next book from the book, finding request of a from the parameters that ID which we have passed, we are just finding out. Then when you click on save button or submit button to save, right now router dot post inside this forward slash and then function space, sorry, function of request comma response comma, and then into the book, sorry, using the book Create is a built-in method which taking all the parameters from the input elements. That's why we are writing request dot body. If everything is successful, then we say that record is added and it will show. After creating, we are showing that particular record. That's why we are writing. And the thing delete already we have written. So I mean in the particular page itself. The final point here is router dot put id function request response with a next. Here using that book schema find by id and update is a built-in method. Based on this id request dot params dot id. Based on this id, you are taking all the values from the input elements which you have updated and it's updating. I mean request dot body taking all the input elements which in which id if it is updating find id and updating function of err comma. That's it. So with this we are done. One second. Here in show, okay, you have just to pass an ID. You have not deleted. You have to write a delete functionality. Then the last one we can see delete book. Almost same, but just few changes. In place of that is you are not inserting now. So you can just using as you have given delete ID and here find ID and remove that particular ID from the input elements, just checking that and deleting everything. Yes, we are done. So after all these things, what you can do? Let us do one thing. We are yet to see that output now that we'll do in tomorrow session because when you type the command of you have to build npm space run space build and then npm space start, and if it will take time to execute, so that we'll do it in tomorrow session. And once it is completed, we discuss the concept of what you can say redux concept tomorrow. Okay, so and of course I will explain once again the concept what we have done so far, how it's working, the flow, where it is taking that method, and where are the built-in functions we have done. Once again, I will explain in tomorrow's session. Okay, right then. We'll meet tomorrow. కనీసం థ్యాంక్స్ చెప్పాలన్న కామన్ సెన్స్ కూడా లేదు.